Barefoot Bruisers. I'm Sawtooth Dave. What's happening, guys? Hope y'all had a good week. Still rocking the Dollar Boar, O'Brien, whatever. What's it called? Oberon? Yeah, Oberon. Old Mitch called me out on it, saying Shakespeare said Oberon was the king of fairies. You know, bro, I'm just gonna leave that there. I thought it was hilarious as soon as I saw that shit. I was like, all right, well, yeah, you called it on that one. Been a cool week, but a kind of a interesting week for me. Ended up being able to do the heat treat. I was waiting on basically to get the cryo, the liquid nitrogen. To update y'all, I think it was just under $40 to fill up that. Last time it was like 27, I think. This time it was like 40 to fill up the liquid nitrogen, 3 liters. So it's going up a little bit. So just to keep you up on price range, I bought that one stick of stock was $100, a little over $100, and then 40. So I got 140 in material and cryo, not counting electricity and that sort of thing. Just to kind of keep y'all updated, okay? Billy had also sent a Mandy Cut fixed blade. So while I was doing it, I ended up heat treating that as well. I did have a huge issue this time with heat treat that I hadn't had in the past. And I think I know it's mainly because the temperatures are now higher. So as I was heat treating it, I'm gonna try to put in pictures so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You wrap it in stainless foil. Everybody's seen this process, I'm sure. Well, because of the high temperatures, it tends to stick to blades, especially when you plate quench, because I put mine in a vise. You know, the knife goes here, it's hot, and you sandwich it between 2 pieces of aluminum, and I put pressure on it. I got a little vise that I use for that. That stainless foil stuck to the knives. Pretty bad. So about 2.5, 3 hours a piece to just get the foil off, to get back to the raw knife. Could I have done it differently? Yes. The problem was it wasn't like I couldn't put it on something and just grind it. Like it would, I don't know. I wanted everything to stay as parallel as possible. So I had to take my time and do it slow way. It sucked, but I got through it. Is there a better way to do that shit? Yes, but I've learned now. Talk to Shane, talk to Donnie. You know, like there's another step that you could put like either talcum powder or like aluminum oxide or something in there with it to keep it from sticking. I just didn't do it. It is what it is. Lesson learned. I did lose a lot of time in that process, but I got the nice heat treated. I'm not going to show you the fixed blade. It's already packed up. But here's the Inkosi blades sitting here, the extra one, and the Zon blades here sitting here. But the one I'm really excited to show you is Billy's Inkosi. And then I got to explain this other stuff here in a second. So I just did a aluminum oxide, ALOX, whatever you want to call it. Oxide blast, whatever term you want to put on it. On this, and then tumbled it a little bit to kind of sort of make it match with the rest of the knife. This already has the Lynch Northwest 2-piece pocket clip on it. And a different stud. So let me get it out. Well, I just want to show you closed position first because it came out very much complementary finish to what it already is, to me, in my eyes, anyhow. But you got the flicking hole in this one now, so you can flick it out. And there's lock side of it, and there's thumb stud side of it. I'm pretty happy with how the thumb stud kind of blends in. It looks like it could be part of the knife from the factory. I did counterboard a little bit, so hopefully you can see that the stud's not too tall. Hopefully you see that. See a nice it's about a little bit under where the titanium is, but it's pretty much perfect. I left the screw exposed on that side. I wish I could find, and I might still try to find socket head cap screw 256 to put in there to kind of match all the hardware on that side. But I think like just leaving it the whole stainless finish and kind of letting the blade and the handles match, and then the hardware match on both sides, kind of sort of put a good thing on it. If I didn't mention already, K390. I didn't have any experience with this at all as far as sharpening or anything like that before. So of course I'm gonna ask for advice, right? Like no experience. I could try it myself, but like I might as well ask somebody who's already had the experience. So I texted Nick Edwards behind the edge, and he's, it's one of his favorite steels. He likes 800 grit on K390, so that's exactly what I did. So I did do a belt to get it down to like somewhat finished and then took it on the KME. So hopefully you can see that it's got a pretty good edge on her. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. You know, it's from the regular Chris Reeve knife, it's a shallower grind this way, but it's deeper. So it's an 8-inch hollow. I don't know what, I'm not sure what they do with theirs. But clearly when you feel it, it goes from thicker to thin because it's the same blade stock. You know, the blade stock, this is, I didn't change anything. It's all stock hardware. Everything inside this is the same. So essentially you could take this blade out and put another CRK blade in it and it still worked fine. That was the mission, especially with Billy's knife. Because I wanted him, I think he originally wanted an Inkosi blade, but like once I got it in hand, he's like, yeah, do whatever you want, man. So he's cool enough to let me play. So that was cool. Obviously the action on this is pretty much exactly the same as the CRK. Hardly any different. You can see the detent feel is about the same. Sorry about that, still a little stiff. You know, on all CRKs, if you want it looser, you just loosen the action, Loctite it, or loosen the pivot and Loctite it in where you want it. But super happy with how this one came out. Very, very happy with how this one came out. Remember from last week's video I was talking about, I had an extra blade, which I showed you a second ago. Get it off thing. It looks a little bit different. Like you can kind of sort of see how it would have looked with this one on there. Hopefully you can see it. That's kind of sort of, it would have been a little bit taller, a little bit more, you know, swoop up kind of thing. But very similar, right? Like it's still like on a similar vibe. You still see it's very much a similar vibe to what this one was. And that was the original plan, you know, trying to keep it all about the same. I had mentioned that I told Steve he could have it if he wanted. He talked to me later and he's like, man, I'm more of a Sebenza guy anyhow, so just let somebody else take it. It's like, that's fine. Well, you know, me being me, I'm not trying to buy a knife, but me being me, I was like, I just find it cheap and cozy and we'll go with it from, you know, I have to make a lot more insert, so I have to modify one in order to make it work. I have to, you know, get rid of that ceramic ball that's in there, put some steel in there to push that lock face into the blade more, and I'm basically destroying the warranty on one. So I was looking for one with already a destroyed warranty. Happened to be on Reddit. It just happened to be Jared from Desert Valley Blade Works, or Valley Blade Works. Sorry, I'm not Desert Valley. I'm stuck in the desert, so that's what my mind goes to, Desert Valley. But Valley Blade Works. Where's this stuff at? Man, I gotta find it. Hang on one second. Because hell of a dude. Where is this stuff? Did I put it over here? Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, Jared, if you have to watch this. Anyway, Jared does a lot of laser and stuff, so I found the Inkosi, and then I was like, I seen your work on Instagram. So can we hook it up with some laser? I don't know if they call it laser engraving, laser marking. I'm new to the whole laser world. You know, like we talk about how finish knives and like some people are into anos and weird stuff. And like, you know, like everybody's got their little niche they kind of sort of like to spice up a knife with it a little bit. I've had very good experience with laser stuff. Like I think laser stuff in general, like Billy's Magnum Works had that laser stuff on it. I just think like it's a cool way to add a touch to it, but not like over the top. This one's a little bit more over the top. But anyway, Jared does laser work. And so I was like, hey man, how about you put your thing on it? So I wanted him to have fun with it, him do his thing. I don't know if he'd done any inserted, I don't think he had done any inserted, what am I trying to say, onlays or inlays or whatever they want to call them for CRK. But I got him to do his touch on it too. So I pushed him a little outside his boundaries. You know, this is outside my boundaries. And he did this for us. So it's a Tonto Inkosi, and he did all that laser and work on it. Like he gave me options of like what he wanted and different things, but man, he hooked it up. I think it looks cool as shit. All right, so this one is going to be modified, even though it's, you know, it was already, there was no paperwork, no warranty stuff. So like, it is what it is, right? Like, I'm sure people are like, it's a fake. It could be a fake. Well, you know, coming from the guy I got it from, I'm pretty sure it's not. But, you know, like, is there proof to it? No. Does it matter? Not really, because all I'm going to do at this point is modify the lot bar, which is destroying the stock lot bar side, and then I'm putting another blade in it. So, like, I can take all the hardware of this one and put it in Billy's. It's exactly the same. I'm pretty sure it's a real one. I've done the side-by-side comparison. Matter of fact, we're going to do that here in a second. But anyway, I really wanted to show Jared's work off. So it's got that laser kind of and scroll. It looks almost like it's an engraving type thing. You see he left the flats or the chamfers untouched, which I think is a cool touch. Went right around. He took the inlays, onlays, whatever you call it, off. He redid the logo on this side. He got the Idaho made engraved as well. Hopefully that's all coming off the video. And he vapor honed it. I've never had anything with vapor hone before. I mean, I've seen it done on like carburetors and that sort of thing, but I've never, on a knife wise, never seen it kind of done before. But the other person I tied in on this, because me and Jared were talking and he was getting advice for taking the inlays out from JD. So if y'all know Jay Dizzle or you've seen his work on Instagram, another dude to highly recommend. Both of these guys are on Instagram. You can look them both up. Jay Dizzle does inserts for these things. So I figured, let me tie him in on this too and see if I can get him to do some work too. So JD's on board, and I think that's going to be sick. Like a 3-way collab. I never worked with any of these other two dudes. Like I follow their work on Instagram, and I've always kind of like admired their work. So what's the ultimate goal for this one? Just to make a good, cool knife with a community build. So like Jared put his touch on it. I'm not going to tell JD what to do. I'm going to send it to him and let him say, okay, what would I do to it if it was my knife? And then let him finish it kind of thing. So as long as I don't mess up the lock bar insert, 50-50 on that. I've only done 3 or 2, so this is the 3rd one I've ever done. So as long as I don't mess that up and get this blade fitted to that. Oh, about to drop it. I don't want to drop it on my hand. Let me see if I can hold this one up and make it a little better here. We'll have something like that on this sucker. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? That's the plans. It is going to take a little bit of work, so if I get it done this week, cool. But like, I don't know. I got to take my time and do it, and you know, hopefully it'll turn out right. We'll see how it goes. But ultimately, the goal at the end of this one is probably going to be, you know, once I get it all the way done, it'll probably be sell it. So be ready for that if you're interested. Yeah, I'll probably do the Zon too, but like the Zon's going to need. I'll probably kind of have to do a clothespin, stop pin, something similar to what the Inkosi has on the Zon frame. So it's going to be modifying the Zon frame as well, which will avoid that warranty as well. So, you know, all said and done, I'm warrantying or destroying the warranty on 2 knives. For mine, Zon, that blade was voided warranty because I cut the little stud, the rubber band ring on the thing. I cut it off, put thumb studs on top of it. Already that voids your warranty from Request Review. From what I understand, like they're very sensitive on their warranties. It's pretty much got to leave it stock, which I have a hard time leaving just about everything alone. You know, even customs, I tend to do my thing on and, you know, have fun with and that sort of thing. We all different in that regard. I know I'm stupid sometimes with my money. I don't really care, but I'm buying it to enjoy it. You know, like especially this Inkosi is a good project. Like I'm working with the 2 other dudes is a huge plus, but it's a project to push me a little bit out of my comfort zone. Are these bruisers? Nah. 140 thou blade stock. Nothing about this is a bruiser. So do you? Damn, I failed it again. Do you think you're going to see more Chris Reeves? Nah, this is probably the only 3 that I'm going to do. Like if I'm being honest, I kind of wanted something that dropped in my lap. I wanted to try the K390. And then I'll probably move on from there. I'm going to keep the Zon, test on it, and see how the steel does. I really want to use Billy's, but I want Billy to use Billy's. So now he'll have the difference between the Magnum Works, which is S45, and then this K390. Both my heat treats, he tested it. Both heat treats should be good heat treats. I asked... Shane's got some experience with it, so I asked him his advice on what he did. I looked up a lot of data, kind of made my own opinion and tried a recipe. I was shooting for like upper 66, like 66 and a half-ish. We'll see what it turns out. See how it goes. All learning curves, but I feel like now, especially between it and the Magna Cut, like if y'all not interested in heat treats, I'm sorry, but like it's a learning curve for me, so I'm just kind of like sharing the experience, I guess. It wasn't that much different to heat treat Magna Cut versus K390. Like it's, once you're used to cryo, it's just like a recipe. You put it in the oven for X amount of time, pull it out, quench it, put it in the cryo, take it out of cryo, and you temper it. So like, it really wasn't any different. Like like the temperatures you select, the length of time that you soak it, and that sort of thing, are all variables. But the process is like how you do it is pretty much all the same. Like after, when I first started doing it, I was like, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, what that's supposed to be. It's just like, once you get the handle of what's going on, it really wasn't that big a deal. So now I don't know how the hell good the heat treat is. Like I got to get ability to test the numbers, especially on this K390. If you don't want to take it apart and test it, like I don't know if he wants to poke holes in the side of it or not, but that's on him. Like it's his knife. I want him to do what he wants to do. Personally, I'd probably pull it apart and test on the part it don't show, but you know, I didn't buy this. I didn't buy this. Excuse me. I didn't make this to be a show knife. I made it to be a user knife. So if he wants to poke holes in it and keep on using it, that's cool with me too. I'd much rather see it get beat up and used. But what I'm trying to get at is, like, you've heard all this hype about some manufacturers like not wanting to go to the high heat treat for whatever reason. Like, I don't know. I think it kind of depends on what you're aiming for in the knife. In the bruiser, you're looking for more toughness and robustness, which you kind of get with your grinds as well. But if you're selecting a steel like K390 with good edge retention and everything like that, it's edge retention steel. It's going to be chippier than, say, 3V, you know, both tool steels, kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum. But it's a lot closer than most people think. After doing the data and kind of getting involved in, it's a lot closer as far as toughness goes than most people will give K390 credit for. And in that regard, what I've seen from it so far, I can 100% agree with. All right, so moving on. Oh, yeah, I'll do that in a minute. So that's work in the shop that I've done. Like I said, I did that banded cut blade for Billy, and it's wrapped up all right. I just don't feel like pulling it out. It's one of Billy's. I hope he gets inspired to build it when he gets it back and puts a handle on it and actually shows it on his video. But if nothing else, he gave me some feedback on banded cut, and I didn't have to do anything on mine other than the knife was like literally the maximum length I can get in the oven, and literally on the dewar, which I don't know if y'all know what a dewar is. It's like imagine like a huge thermos. That's basically what it is. I couldn't get the lid down on it. I had to leave it out and just pack rags around it to keep the liquid nitrogen from all evaporating. But it's kind of cool when you put it in there. It's like, it's a neat process. Anywho, Denise sent me another one to check out, and I thought this was a really cool one. This is a newt, and this is an extra thick newt. So like the thickness on this one definitely was a plus for me. Now, I'm showing it before it's fixed, so excuse us both. But we broke some hardware off. Already talked to Donnie about it. Already talked to Denise about it. Everybody's cool. It happened, right? Okay, so basically, this is a warning for, I'm not trying to call Denise out. I'm just trying to tell y'all. This is a warning for especially small hardware. Putting Loctite on it, you have to be careful of how much you put on it. So basically, as soon as I try to turn this one, it snapped the head right off. She basically put about 3 times more Loctite on it than it needed. The head of it was, you can even see a little bit on residual left on the outside of here, but you know, it isn't a counter bore. It's just everywhere kind of thing. So it ended up seizing and it snapped the head off. It's easy enough to fix. You know, Donnie's cool enough to send some hardware. He didn't really care either, but just a warning for y'all, if you're playing with knives, you're modding knives, it's just a learning curve, right? Like nobody is born with the knowledge to do all this stuff. So this is just like learn from mistakes and move forward kind of thing. All right, that out of the way, the knife in general. So look, the last one I had was Evan's, and I wish I still had it, but I had sent it back to Evan already. But the same thing as like last time, like his precision, especially the chamfers and stuff like that. Like if you didn't know, you just looked at this knife, you would probably think it was machine made like that. Like it's just that, you see how crisp those corners are? Like it's just nice. It's very well done. The quality is excellent. I have such a hard time with keeping, especially a Jimpy file, straight. And look at that. That's, if you didn't know the difference, you would think that was a machine that did that. Like it's for handmade, dude. I'm like, I'm not at that level. Like he's just got something else, you know, OCD, whatever it is. Like he's got his methods down, whatever he's doing. He has more shit figured out than I have. Like as far as the handmade stuff goes, I'll get there. But you know, look at the clip. Look at the little lines that he did on the clip. I don't even know how he did this. It looks cool as shit, but I don't know how he did it. Slant like that, and then the rest of it's all aluminum oxide blasted, but he just polished this flat, or not polished it, brushed this, excuse me, flat on it so it showed that feature up more. That's just a cool little touch, man. It's the eye for detail kind of stuff. Now, the blade doesn't look as thick as it really is because he put the chamfers on the blade. Like me personally, I like let's just get that Inkosi bag out. Nothing. I like it nice and square all the way out to the thing. This one does have a slight distal taper. I don't know if you can see it or not, but slightly distal tapered, this one. I like seeing the thickness. Like, there you go. Another prime example. DSK. I like this. This is more my style. Like when on a big beefier knife, that's what it is. But you also have other stuff like, let's see, that one is a big beefy blade, but you do from that last jimping forward, it looks much thinner because he put the chamfers on it, right? It's just a visual thing. I just like the full thickness for the spine. That's just me personally. So like, I understand it. Like people want different things. Okay. This also has, and I didn't even notice it was at first. Let's see if it didn't come out in the video. It's kind of that. I don't know what kind of camo it is, but it's that camo carbon fiber. Y'all know, I don't. It's not something I'm really into. Disc, the thumb disc. So this one doesn't have, obviously it's a smooth side, doesn't have any jimping on it or something like that. So that for me is a little bit slippery. Like it's harder to get it. If you're conscious of it, it's fine. It's just like a little bit slippier, but man, what an action on this thing again. Like, so both the ones I've handled from him have just great action, you know, washer knives. The thickness on this one, I definitely dig. I definitely like the way it feels better. Correct me if I'm wrong, Donnie, but I think you used a bigger detent in this one too, didn't you? Maybe you didn't. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it feels like a bigger detent, but I don't know for sure. It feels like it's a little different action than the other one does. Maybe it's just the smallness and the thickness of it, but cool knife for me to check out. Thanks again to Denise for letting me check on it. And once I get the hardware on it, I'll get it put back together and sent back your way. I just really wanted to check it out. Like the extra thickness on this one makes it much better in the hand. Like it's still a fairly small knife. You can see in my hands, like it's still fairly small and definitely thin this way. But Donnie's work, impeccable. Like so much about it, I can say that it's like, I hope I can get my quality up to there. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, I'll get there eventually, but I think I'm doing the broad strokes right now, trying to get everything mechanically how I want it. And then I'm gonna come back and fine tune. And that's, you can tell when you hold one of his knives, when you look at his knife, that's exactly what he did, is fine tune the shit out of this to make it nice. Awesome work, Donnie. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you helping me out with the problem situation too. On basically, back to Evan's knife, I was talking about maybe blackening it. In talking with Evan, and thinking about it, I decided not to blacken it. The reason I didn't blacken it is because I've never done it to any other thing. I don't have random shit laying around here to me to try on, and I can't replace that. So aside from sending it back to Donnie, I would at least like to do it myself on something that's replaceable before I did it on something that's irreplaceable that I would have to get Donnie to build him another, build him another knife in order to fix that. Hit the cable for the light. What else we got to talk about? Oh, so next week, I'm going to go with the Sergey Rogovitz XR3. Love this knife. You know, the whole Sawtooth 6 thing is designed to not have me not buy knives before a blade show, which, you know, is Ken's idea for doing that. It's pretty much spot on perfect. Like, but I did buy the Inkosi and I did buy the Oberon. So, you know, a little over $2 grand behind the 8 ball here. Kind of is what it is. I'd have bought the Oberon at Blade anyhow, so I don't feel bad about it. The Inkosi will be one that I'll buy to sell. Like that's not something I'm going to keep unless it's just so good that I can't let it go. But it's a community collaboration. If you've not been exposed to Valley Blade Works or Jay Dizzle or their work, I highly recommend going and checking them out. And then hopefully you guys go see the finished product if it comes out good, and at least get exposure to what their work looks like. What else we got to say? I think that's pretty much it for this week. So 24 minutes, not too bad. I'm definitely looking forward to Blade Show. The countdown is already coming on, and mindset getting there. But you know, yeah. So you know, plans set, nothing ordered, or not thinking about any one particular knife. So that's kind of like, most time when I go to shows, I kind of sort of have an issue or, you know, idea in the back of my head. Like last year, I was like, I'm gonna go see Miller Brothers first. Like I kind of sort of knew that was gonna happen. So this year I don't really have anything. Like there's nothing sitting, you know, in the back of my mind saying I gotta go do this first. I think I got Dario's shirt on right here. I am going to see, because he's going to be at Blade Show again. I'm going to see Dario again. Maybe a Toucan XL, 2XL, was it that he has? Maybe I'll get one of those. That's probably the only thing that's in the back of my mind. I was thinking I would like to check out the Dixon, the McNeese Dixon. So I might roll by there and just check one out. I don't think I'll be buying it. Like, production lights don't stay in my collection. I'm pretty much approving that. Like, I don't know. 25 now. Yeah, let's call it there. We'll talk more about Blade Show, I'm sure. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good one. Later, y'all.